All right, howdy folks, and welcome to Alwa's NES Awakening. This is stream number 20. My name is Paul. Go by InfiniteNesLives online, and for watching us on YouTube after the fact, you can skip around to interesting parts and recap in the descriptions. So we made a significant progress milestone last time. We were streaming Sunday. So we have map of 4 rooms, and we can scroll all 4 directions. So we can go, we're in room 0, we can scroll right to room 2, left, back to 0. We can scroll down to room 1, and we can scroll back up to room 0. We ended stream last time with a bug. I think it was to where if we scrolled down, we couldn't scroll back up. Or I'm sorry, if we scrolled up, we couldn't scroll down again. And I think I just replicated the bug. So we scrolled up, and now we try to scroll down, and it just keeps going. Yeah, and I found it right after I finished the stream. So our final Y scroll was 32. We actually need to be 31 because when we're not scrolling, the PPU auto increment it to 32. So it wasn't the down. It wasn't a multiple of 4, and so down scroll was broke because of that. Oops. Yeah, so now we can go up and down. One thing I also realized is after we do an up scroll, we're not prepared to do another up scroll. Because we assume that the current playfield is also in name table 0, which it normally is. But for up scroll, the only time we've drawn the next room is the last time. We redraw the current room a few times, but the next room only the last time. The way our map is set up, you can, scrolling down always jumps, always increments the room number by 1, scrolling up decrements it. So we have our map of 4, but you can also go down, down. So we can go through all 4 rooms. You see when we scroll up, we have an artifact of for 1 frame, it's wrong. So I want to go ahead and fix that quick. And well, hopefully that's quick. The other benefit I'm realizing of always having the other name table 0 filled with our current playfield is like when it comes to doing text boxes and stuff. If you've got the current room in there, then we can draw to name table 0, jump over there, display the text box, jump back to clear it. So I think it's going to be useful for other features to always have the default state with the current room drawn both times. And I want to draw on the up scroll, I want to draw at a specific time because I think it might help out with compression in the future. So here's what I want to do. Right now, when we scroll up, first we draw the current playfield. Well, it's already here. So we jump over and we draw the current playfield in the top corner here, and then we jump over there. And then we start scrolling up. Before we start scrolling up, I want to draw the next playfield here. And then start scrolling. So we'll still end at the same spot, but one more intermediate step will satisfy our default. So the way we did that, or the time that we need to do that, is when we're clearing the camera bit. So maybe we almost need another bit of state. This is camera bit 4. Go to default is 8. Let's just call it draw bit. So here we're ready for scroll, but that's not actually what I want. Not all my. I don't know if I want to. Anyway. I could have the draw and the camera bit set at the same time, but I don't think I want that. Okay, so check. If the camera bit's not set, then we go to check scroll. So this should be very similar to some other code that we have. We're drawing the... Hey, Zorch, how we doing, man? I'm just fixing our default. Pretty good. I feel like I've streamed like I did the extra stream on Sunday, and so it's weird doing all this extra streaming. I don't know if I can handle streaming more than once a week. Maybe I can, but I'm thinking about doing another stream on Mondays or something that's not Alwa related. Some INL retro programmer code or some different hardware stuff. I feel like lately all I've been doing was working on Alwa. Yeah. School year should be over soon, like 2 weeks, so the kids won't have as many activities and stuff, so. But it's also nice outside. I don't know how much of my summer I want to spend streaming. We'll see. Gotta take advantage of the warm months when we have them. Okay, it should be like this code. Draw current playfield name table 1. That's what sunscreen's for, man. You gotta take advantage of it while you can in the Midwest. Okay, so I'm not going to jump that. Right now we're rendering from name table 1. I just want to... I need 2,000... Oh, wait a second. 24 name table... I think I just want to subtract 4,000 from this, which should be 1FC8. Is that? $24. Yeah, these numbers don't seem familiar. Eight. Oh, not 4,000. 400. 23C8. What? It doesn't. Because I want to start drawing here. 2080, and then I need to mine it. I need to subtract 56. This code 23C8. Oh, that's because that's the Y code. Yeah. So 2080. minus decimal 56. Zero. Oh, that's how I did it. I did, yeah. 128 minus 56. Because this is decimal. Yeah, this code right here. All right, so that should, I don't want to do anything. Oh, I need to, so I need the next nat pointer. Because the next room we're drawing. So copy next. Oh, and I'm subtracting 56. I copied the wrong code. I should have. This is. Yeah, I just need to call this. Oh, but set next. I need to call init nat pointer. Maybe. Oh, I'm just doing this myself. And then once it's done, we don't need to move anything. We just need to get it in the right state. Why did that get lowercased? All right. Is that easy? broke something. Right, left, down. Some of my control code here. Okay. Yeah, I got in. I didn't do my jump. If it's equal, I know to go to check scroll. Load scroll or if it's okay. All right. What? Oh. Broke that. I think I'm just messing up my control code. Did anything actually? Well, what did it draw? Oh, it did everything. It just didn't. It didn't. Okay, so it moved over here, and this is the point to where I wanted to start redrawing this code. And that didn't happen. Okay. Oh, I need to. Not there. All right, there's a down scroll. Up. Okay. Your computer or mine? Hopefully mine. Hopefully yours. 048. Scroll count 16. Oh. Why? Yeah. It's about limit involving evil Daystar and Sprites. Don't know. Is it? Am I not? What is happening? Am I not clearing the draw bit? Check draw. What is... Scroll counts decorating down, scroll dir. Two 9. So I have, yeah, the draw bit is set. And the scroll bit. Yeah, 5 and 3. I need to, I don't think I have my alerts set for when you stream, Bridgewater. Okay, so that looks right. Scroll count 0, or it's 1. But it didn't draw the next. I wonder if I haven't gotten the next room yet. And so next does equal cur, but it should still continue to. Why is it came back here? It shouldn't have came back here. Oh, I'm always jumping to end scroll. Why does that happen? Because this code's supposed to be here. All right. All right, something's happening now. Alright, drawing it like it needs to. Jumps over there. Oh, it's scrolling. It didn't draw the other screen like I wanted it to. What am I doing? Look at this code again. So scroll count 0, do my knit, draw a playfield. Okay. I need a... I had a jump and scroll. I need... jump not equal. So it'll exit if it's done, or it'll exit if it's not done. If it's done, it'll go to the next state. Basic stuff here, Paul. All right, down, up. Okay. I think I just haven't fetched, I think it drew the screen. I just haven't actually got the new pointer yet because up, vertical init, set next nat pointer. So I'm not actually getting it till here. I want to get it beforehand. And I don't want to call next again. Okay. So down. We'll initialize here. Although I need to have up needs to call init nat pointer though. What am I doing? Okay. So for draw, down, up. Okay. So I think we're good now. So we can scroll down through all the rooms and should be able to scroll up through all of them. Room 1, 2, 3. Now let's scroll up. 3. Yeah, so it's restoring the default. Okay. So that's all working. And might be useful for future things. So I mentioned it earlier, but I don't think most of you are here yet. So we now have the state where we always have the current room drawn in both name tables by default once the scrolling and everything's done. That could prove useful when it comes time for dialogue text boxes. We can draw them in name table 0 and then jump over there. You see the text box and jump back. And so that would bring the text box back and forth by simply jumping back and forth between name tables. And not have to like redraw the screen. Just go over their text box. I guess we would have to draw it over again just because we're expecting it to be there for a subsequent scroll. But that's one useful thing. The other thing is I'm probably going to try to compress the data for these rooms, and compression algos usually work well in one direction, not so well the other direction. And so for up scrolls, we're starting at the bottom of the data and going up. That might, well, that would be an extra chore. But with the way that we have it set up now, whenever we do an up scroll, we uncompress the data, or we could be uncompressing it and drawing in name table 0. Conceivably, we could have time to read that data from name table 0 and write it to name table, just copy it over. We'd have to modify our name table updates, routines, and things, but anyway, so pretty satisfied with our scrolling engine now, and ready to do something else. We have 4 rooms. We can make better rooms. We could start converting some rooms from the actual game, but I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time doing that because you have to play test them, because we're going to be compressing everything and want to make sure that's playable and works well. So kind of means we're time to start looking at sprites. We could get some sprite, get a sprite of Zoe on the screen. I've kind of already had some thoughts about sprites. It's gonna be challenging. Let's pull up some of I have let's open them in GIMP. They have these sprites already on. They have them online. So here's Zoe. And we have enemies. And NPCs. But I realized NPCs, they're not animated, or very little. You can see he just moves. He strokes his beard or something? I can't even see the difference here, but there is. Yeah, I think his hand's up 1 pixel. So NPCs might not be that big of a deal to use. Help from the background. They should be relatively easy. Zoe and enemies, different story. So we have too many colors. We've got black, purple, white, tan. Sprites get 3 colors plus transparent, not plus background. So transparent, and then 3 colors. So, yeah, Zoe's pretty cute. Now pretty much everything uses. Okay, so to even get Zoe to render on the NES, we're gonna have to use sprite layering, unless I do some crazy hardware tricks that I have thought about but don't think I'm going to do. A lot of the enemies, so some enemies are just 3 of these skeletons. They're just 3 colors, transparent. These guys are 4. These guys are 3 plus the eyes, you know. So there's kind of a mix. We have a good number of enemies that are simple with only 3 colors, and then we have a number with 4. So these they look kind of like Groot, little mini Groots. Baby Groots. These soldier guys are 4. These, I kind of call these guys jokers. Therefore, these little Shovel Knight looking dudes are 4. Well, 3 plus the eyes, and the shield is also, the shield's 4. Yeah, these guys are 3. Luckily, let's I don't know if I have my control. Oh, I do have my controller, but I don't know if I'm afraid to plug anything into my USB ports and mess up my net Ethernet hub. Thankfully, a large amount of Alwa. My Steam is updating. Why do you need to constantly update? They don't place a lot of sprites per scan line. We also have our item to worry about, though. So we have blocks, bubble, and then she throws. It's supposed to be like a lightning bolt, but kind of more looks like a fireball. So we can quickly eat up our budget of sprites. If Zoe is, 1, 2, 3, 4. If she's 4, then that's half our sprite budget. Similar with the enemies. So some of the enemies will only be 2 wide, 2 sprites. I'm gonna turn the let's go one of these opening rooms here. It's not an opening room, but I don't know if this save actually have I don't have any items yet, but she has an item that basically looks just like this block. I can't put my mouse over the top of my screen. Anyway, we're gonna have to get tricky, because if Zoe uses 2 layers, it's gonna be hard. So here's kind of my plan. We can the extra sprite color that I want to put on a different layer is the tan. So Zoe's main sprite will be black, purple, and white, and then the extra layer will be her face and hands in this little dot. So one benefit of that is when she throws her block down on the ground, it'll sit here. But there's the bottom sprites, there's less collision, and if we like lose the hands, it's less important. And I think for the most part, we can fit her face into one sprite. So here it's actually, I think this is one time when it's 9 pixels. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this one shred of hair is over 8, but yeah, here she's looking up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a lot of times but when she's walking, like look at these frames here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's only like, so it's, she's standing still, it would still be 4 sprites wide. But when she's walking, it would only be 3. 2 wide for the purple, the main palette, and then 3 for her hand and face. So that gets us a little bit less demanding, maybe less, will hopefully be less flickering. The item is used a lot. The blocks, she pushes it, so it's always going to be in the way. That would be 3, 4, 5 sprites for her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Throw in an enemy, 6, 7. So we're okay there if it's a single color sprite. These Groots, right, the extra color could just be in the top, so the block wouldn't necessarily collide there. Same with these guys. The eyes could just be an extra sprite, and if we lose that extra layer in a flicker, then that'd be the first one to lose. These Joker dudes, they often appear in black background. Part of that is, though, is they're using more color. They have sprites in a, this is what I, you don't see a Joker here, but you can tell. Look at Zoe. There's black background, and then there's like gray. We're not going to have that. Most likely. I suppose I could make her gray when she's, I don't know, we'll play around to see how it looks, but anyway, if that can reduce our requirements if these guys are always in black background. But yeah, so if Zoe's about 3 sprites wide with that trick plus an item, 3, 4, 5, then we have 6, 7. So 1 enemy is fine. There's 2 enemies in a row, that'll be a problem. Or if we have things like these platforms, like here they have a platform going up and down, and platforms are elsewhere. But so I mean, we'll have some flickering. I don't think I'm going to do it, but I did have one other crazy hardware idea. Is I kind of have a scheme for having sprites of the background color emulated on the cartridge, so this black outline of everything wouldn't count for PPU sprites. I don't really want to do that, but it would be kind of fun hardware wise to pull off. If I did something like that, then all of these things would be easier. We'd have black, we'd have 3 colors plus background plus transparent. But So maybe we can try to get Zoe drawn as a sprite and see if we can move around on the screen. See how far we get with that. The other thing is animations. What kind of tile budget we're going to have there? If she usually uses, so that's 6 tiles, 7, 8, 9 tiles. And she's got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like she's always going to be walking, jumping. That's 8 times 9. Something like 72 tiles. So maybe we can give Zoe in her item like half of the 256 tiles. Enemies have usually 4 animations plus death. But these guys, 6 times, well, this is when they get hit, but that's 20 tiles. So maybe we can just plan for enemies to get half of the tile budget, and Zoe gets about half. Lots of time, and we can kind of massage the game to use, no more than 2 enemies per, adjust the enemies to fit within our tile budget. And she throws her wand all the time. Anyway. So I'm trying to, as far as making these tile sets, let's get a window open here. I've got NES screen tool, but oh, why are you doing that to me? I don't know how far we'll get, but at least start thinking about sprites here. I think I want this one. I haven't thought about colors and tile sets for a while. The way we did it with background. Oh, sorry, I missed your comment there, Bridgewater. Can you make sprites work without the black? Well, and that's yes. I mean, let's look at this again. Part of the thing is there's lots of areas where it's dark. And so in those areas, it'll definitely work. And maybe some enemies will only have show up in the dark. But adds quite a bit, especially on light backgrounds. It's a thought. The other thing is like 2 different browns. You know, how much we're going to lose in the sprites to just, I don't know. I think we can get close to it, and so going to just set our hopes high and hope for the best here. So here's a tile set, a background tile set. So I think I can just I'm just gonna start. Where's my palette? GIMP. Layers, channels, paths. View. Oh, I think I go add tab, palettes. So color map of image. I don't know what these image numbers are. Anyway, let's say this as a sprite palette. There is no image data in the clipboard to paste. Why not? Which layer do I have selected? Okay. What is the deal? Why? Layer. Select. Copy. I can paste it in here. There it is. A lot of these are going to have to be massaged anyway. Why? There we go. And I don't know if this is how I don't even know how I want them arranged. Because here, like part of me says having an animation. So this is tile, you know, this one frame, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I want it to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So there's like animation 1, 2, 3 arranged by row. I don't know. I need another. I think maybe I need to check out a sprite. But I think maybe I'm not going to worry too much about the art right now. I just kind of want to do some of this by hand, just make a sprite, move it around. Do I have? There we go. NES screen tool. So that first sprite's my sprite 0 sprite. So let's just do this. So we've got black. We'll do the first color is gray, or maybe set the background to pink. Black. Purple. White. And then it would be interesting to see what the sprites look like using gray instead of black, but I don't know if I really want to do this by hand. Let's save this. Export. If I use these colors, I think it'll work. We got something. Let's do this. So we'll have her face white. I guess part of the thing is like when her face flickers away, what color do we want to flicker into? Flicker into white or black? Don't. Oh. Yeah, I'm messing it up. let's see, import bitmap as tile set. This forsaken. Which one of these do I have? This one's. Why? Why is there not just give me a palette of the current file? Come on, GIMP. There it is. Okay, so I think I can just color pick these. And where is the color picker? There we go. And then pour. Or not? What's the deal? Lose all of my GIMP skills. Oh, I'm over here. I'm out of that selection. I have too much opening GIMP. I got multiple layers and I don't. I don't want this layer selected. Oh my gosh. Okay. Come on now. We got black and we want to pour it. Why do they have to get rid of the colors? This is. Everything looks the same. Okay. Actually, Okay. We'll use these green colors. All right, so let's try to make this as one tile. Face. Just go with that. Okay. Pick black. What is that? Oh, I need a pixel. I don't remember how to do any of this. Yeah, that brush. 1. Okay. So only have her face. Okay. Then I need her. Oh, that's not my white color. pick. You guys just go ahead and make it white for now. Or let's, to see it better, let's make it black. Okay. These are the wrong color. Now watch, it's not going to import right. All right, export as bitmap. Oops. So our current sprite for sprite 0, all we really care about is sprite 0 has to have this one bottom row. All right. Import it didn't work. Or did it? No. I messed up the color data of the bitmap. I don't remember what I was doing. I'm gonna go back and watch my old videos or something after this, but somehow I was seeing the current palette editor. It was showing me the palette of the current file. Tile set as a bitmap. feel like doing this stuff right now. And we'll just go ahead and use this one, even though it's wrong. So what color do we lose? We lost our black, or no, we lost our purple. Well, it made purple black, and we lost our black. Maybe hack the bitmap file. I wonder if GIMP updated or something. Okay, so tell me on palette. When I color pick here, it goes to 0. But it's like these colors aren't in this palette. Add to palette. Pick foreground. Oh, control. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, it's drawing black and green. blowing my mind here, GIMP. Anyway. Maybe not worry about what they look like. Maybe see if we can just move. Start thinking about some of the code regardless of the so here's the cursor. All that stuff is hard coded. No, that's all right. Where? Oh, pattern tables. So maybe let's go ahead and, okay, so that has to be sprite 0. Start working on some defines. All right, so zo equals 1. But so sprites have 4 bytes. Y position, index, tile, attributes, and X position. So Y position is going to be 0. X position is 3. Tile, so do something like have we have CA65 expressions. So I think expressions can be multiply, but I'm trying to come up with a somewhat easy way of defining things. So here we say store and cursor X. Really, we want sprite objects that the position of the sprite, and then that as that position changes, all the other sprites that follow need to change as well. But if we define that as the first sprite, the top left pixel, then everything else can follow. So let's just have a LDA So OAM plus and multiply maybe we can come up with macros, or I don't know how detailed our defines can get here. So OAM plus zo times sprite plus X position. I'm just gonna so can I define this? It looks like it. So I can say zo x equals, I need the OAM plus zo is sprite number 1 times 4. So that should be 4 plus the x position of 3. So y so LDA 128 STA zo x LDA 28 y LDA tile number 10 STA zo tile, and attributes so we have the palette, excuse me, unimplemented, and then flipping priority. So let's just have that 0 for now. Is that it? Oh, my cursor is all taking up those other. Let's set Zoda. I have 4 sprites there for that. What used to be the reticle. So the next sprite is 5. Oh, there it is right there. Let's move it in like the, let's move it down. Okay, so there's your hat. So part of me's thinking of sprites as an object as their first tile, and then being able to call a routine that based on the first tile, it can update the other tiles. So for like an animation, you'd set them in a row, the tiles themselves. So to animate, you would just pick the first tile and then the rest of the animation would follow. But for flipping, stuff like that, it's not going to be as simple. Maybe that's not going to work anyway. Maybe that function provide arguments as far as what to do. Let's just kind of do like I'm thinking though for now. So So the add 8. That's going to be zo x plus sprite. Sprites 4. So the next index thinking as far as so thinking of it as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is sprite 2, 4. All have the same X position. So there's the X position update for the rest of them. Sprite 1 is going to have the same Y. We add 8. We can store that, or yeah, 1. So 2 and 3. So load the Y, store it in 1, add 8, do 2 and 3, add 8 again, 4 and 5. Her tile so right now it's like that. So we'll add 1. Oops, that's not what I want. Gets us to here. We add 15. Gets us to here. Then add 1 and add 15. Okay. That's 3. There we kind of have her. I'm gonna have to go back and watch those old GIMP videos I did and figure out what I did. Guess that's the benefit of recording everything I do. I can go back and watch it, and I can't figure out why stuff doesn't work like it used to. So I've actually got let's look at it here. Her face is tile 12, but that's gonna have like a different offset, and that's gonna be like animation frame dependent or something. So let's so right now my up and down, left and right, those will trigger my room change. So I'm wanting to move Zoe around and try to get her to trigger the room change. See if we can get that working over the next hour-ish. So if I push right, I want to ink Zoe X. Oh, I have to call that. Oh, why did that do the room change? Not setting scroll dir. Okay. It moves the first pixel. Sweet. So we're moving Zoe. Let's go ahead and have her do the same thing for left. Oops, did I not? Deck Zoe X. Right. Make. Load. Okay. So let's try to get that trigger room. The other thing is all of these cursor sprites. I don't really want any of this code anymore. Draw cursor, snap cursor, or snap cursor gamepad. Got rid of that code. So now we can make Zoe sprite number 1. And this still work? Sweet. All right. So now in the main, we want to be checking my main. Okay, so a sprite 0 hit. I need all of this. I want this code to be after the screen split's done. Okay, read gamepad, respond to game state. Start select, it goes and does those things. All right, so trigger room change with Zoe's sprite. LDA Zoe X. Compare we want a right trigger so it's 0 through, we'll say 250. Left trigger let's do 8 pixels from the edge. Zero through 255 minus 8. sprites for the Y position. F9. All right, compare to right trigger. Branch if, is there less than? I'm trying to remember which, well, 6502. Yeah, minus, plus. Okay, so it's going to subtract. So we subtract if it's branch minus if it's over that, then LDA scroll right. STA scroll dir LDA 10 STA so X. So that should jump her over to the left side of the screen without causing another trigger. Okay, so she did that. Scroll's all messed up. Let's try and do something. Scroll right, scroll dir. Oh, I don't think my trigger is right. My plus minus branch on plus minus is assigned math. There's got to be a better explanation of these. So we do have a less than greater than macro. Let's just try that. Branch greater than. Check left, undefined. Did I not? Why is this not working? BLT. Did I not do greater than right? Oh, greater than equal. Oh, my math must be wrong. Compare right trigger. Oh, if the right trigger is greater than or equal to? Whoops. I'm not very good at these branches. Sweet. Okay, so compare if it's less than the right trigger, or if the right trigger is less than zo. Yeah, the other thing is we can do compare just subtracts, right? So it's the accumulator minus the value. Yeah, this is so if A is greater than, if the accumulator is greater than the value, then the carry flag will be set if A is greater than. Okay. I think we're going to be able to scroll again because my map's broke. Compare All right. Oh, I didn't reset, so well, let's just do it, see what happens. Yeah, it doesn't like that. It sets her back to 10 and she keeps running into it. Oh, we gotta go right first. Triggers a change, left. Whoop. I said it's the wrong scroll. Right. Left. Right. Let's do down. So we'll increment our Y for up, and for down we'll decrement our Y. All right, so for down, bottom trigger, did we get it? Oh, my direction's wrong. If I up, oh yeah, I got the wrong quadrant in my head. Because 1, 1 is the top left corner. So if it's going up, we need to decrement it. None of that stuff worked though. Maybe it's jumping past it. She scrolls right past it. we're getting like multiple things going on. Okay. Oh, maybe my triggers. My bottom trigger is like F0-ish. Top trigger. I don't really want to check for multiple scrolls at a time, but there's no reason that. Oh, I'm not loading it every time. I'm doing these things and then. Still resetting her. Why is the Y getting changed if I do these things? Oh, I'm hitting the wrong. Okay. The accumulator's not affected. What is the deal? So if I'm checking for down, compare with bottom trigger, and bottom trigger is similar to right trigger. So I branch of carries clear, check up. I don't get why the Y position is getting affected. Oh, duh, gosh. Because what am I doing? I'm loading ZOX and then doing all of these things. So check down LDA ZOY. right, left, down, up. That up should happen sooner. What am I? I can't do it there. I gotta scroll down first because I don't have a map in that direction. Oh, I think my LDA, so Y. So Y minus the bottom trigger. How to make sense of this. So the carry flag is set if A is greater than M because it's A minus N M. It doesn't even make sense. What's up, pseudo kid? What? Okay, subtraction. Okay, and so, yeah, that makes sense. If the value in the accumulator is greater than the compared value, the carry will be set. So because A, the accumulator minus the memory, and so in a subtraction you would set the carry, perform a subtraction, and if there was a borrow, then the value you subtracted was larger than and so the carry flag will still be there. What basically there was no borrow from the subtraction because A was greater than M. Okay, so if carry is set on the bottom, then we check up because there was no borrow. Which is just like the right. I don't know why it should be like down should be like right because it's a greater value. Because what's happening right now? This should be wrong. I don't know why. Yeah. It's just triggering no matter what. I just need to change my trigger values. Just do that and see if I'm... Oh, I need my... Okay, so what I should do is have, instead of this value, so if we scroll right, then we should load left trigger plus 1 and store it in the X. If we scroll right, it should be right trigger minus 1 load. If we're scrolling down, then we should do the top trigger plus 1. And if we're scrolling up, okay, I think it works. Basically, the game's done now. Look, we got sprites. Control the D-pad, don't hit anything. Go to the next room, go back. We can go down into room 1, over. The way yeah. Well, that's kind of cool. It's oh, one thing I'm not thinking about is it's all based on the top right. Sorry. Top left. So it's like it doesn't actually start triggering until I want it to trigger like right there. What debug tools do we have? Sprite viewer. Yeah, so her position's 241 right now. Plus 16. How does that actually work? X. Oh, okay. So X values F9 results in past right edge of the screen, thus invisible. So F8 is fully on screen, minus 16. F8 minus a decimal 16 is 232. I don't know. Just don't understand what the actual value range is there. 241. $257. Okay, yeah. I think that pixel is just so that's what I should be 0 through 255. Yeah, she's 16 wide. Left trigger. Or no. If it touches it, which would be 0. We'll just do 1. I don't know if 0 will work for our math. The up trigger is about what I want. But the down trigger, I want it to trigger there-ish. Y values are 0 through 239. I'm guessing because there's 240 pixels. $239 minus 24. All right, does it feel like when she hits the edge? Well, close enough. Not a very good sprite, but good enough for today. So trying to think about what things I want to work on next. My GIMP skills failed me pretty badly today. Need to think about animations. Need to think about collision detection. Collision detection is gonna, I mean, it's pretty heavily tied in with what we have been working with as far as the map goes. Think about how we want to generate collision detection. I'd like to have it embedded in the map in the name table data. And so maybe that's another avenue we can go down, but have the process of loading up the screen data have it in all of our code where we're loading that up and processing or probably decompressing data. If it's tile-based collision or, you know, damage or ladder or whatever, as we're filling that buffer with tile data, we could also be filling a RAM map. I feel like it needs to be, we can't really get by with, well, maybe we can, but I don't know if, I'd almost like it to be tile-based, like 8 pixels of collision. You need to think about that, but how many? Because that's a lot of data. I don't know if we can manage that. So we have 26 rows. Maybe we don't have to worry about at the very bottom, assuming that's in overscan, but still 25 times 32. It's like 3+ pages of RAM. If it was metatile 16 tile based, really it's just gonna, well, we're gonna have that attribute table limitation anyway. But that would narrow it down by 4. Get it within a page. And I mean, in reality, like some of these things are inherently metatile based anyway. The ladder, the vines, and let's look at some of this map stuff again. Everything is... We do have some things where it's going to get confusing. Oh, this is a well, therefore you don't collide with it. But we can probably do meta tile. Yeah. There shouldn't be an issue. I don't think there's really any 8, tile wide obstructions. So can think about that, because all of these types of decisions are going to that's why I don't want to convert a bunch of maps if we come up with some scheme to where this tile range is collidable, this tile range isn't. This tile range causes damage. This tile range we don't care about because we'll never run into it. Like this dirt and stuff, lots of times it's just this outer edge. Or can we always base it on the top left tile? So every 4 tile loads we have to do that, or every other row, every other tile. But so that might be good things to work on, just because that scrolling code's already still fresh. Anyway, let's go ahead and do our recap here. All right, this is a recap of stream number 20. We fixed a quick bug that we found at I fixed it off camera. I just showed you guys. But we have scrolling in all 4 directions working. We started thinking about sprites. So you can see here, we've got, it's not very fancy. It's all the wrong color. But we've got a Zoe looking sprite. We talked about how Zoe has too many colors for one sprite, because you have 3 colors plus transparent, and Zoe is black, purple, white, tan, plus transparent. So some of the enemies, some of them are 3, fit within a sprite, 3 colors plus transparent, and some of them are 4 colors plus transparent. I'm going to try to get as close as we can to the original. I'm going to use sprite layering, and plan is to have the tan as an extra layer of sprites. We're going to get close to our 8 sprite per scanline limit, so we'll have flickering at times, but hopefully we can keep that to a minimum. I tried importing some of these sprites into GIMP, and my GIMP skills are failing me. So I'm going to come back to that, but for now, I got some of the colors. And we created routines So now the D-pad, when we move the D-pad, instead of triggering a scroll, we move Zoe, and so now we have these variables, just Zoe X, Y, and I use define statements to, we're using the top left tile. So now you can just change those variables, which is really just maps to a byte, and then call update Zoe, and that will calculate the rest of the XY positions of everything else and update them. So we can move Zoe around the screen. And since the D-pad doesn't trigger room change anymore, now Zoe can trigger the room change. So as she's walking along, boom, we hit the right edge, we trigger right. We can go down, and one of the other things that we fixed, so previously if you went up, you couldn't scroll down afterwards. Well, we fixed that. The other thing that we implemented, so for up scrolls, we assume that the current play field room is in the other name table. Well, for up scrolls, we weren't making that true afterwards. So if we scrolled up more than once, or we couldn't scroll up more than once, and now we can. So for up room changes, now maybe some character animations. For next stream, I gotta come up with a better plan, but to finish my thought here, so up now, in the process of scrolling up, it will also redraw the screen, so now we can do multiple ups. So our scrolling engine's pretty complete now. I spent some time thinking about things I want to move into next. And really gets into sprites. Coming up with a plan of arranging the sprites and how they're gonna be animated. I can get I need to get my art skill, my GIMP skills back going again. But we also have to worry about collision detection, and coming up with a map of the current room, not just in the tiles, but in the CPU RAM, to where we can determine if we have a collision. I think I'm going to go that direction first, and then animations, because like the animations are also based on running into things. So yeah, I think I'm going to work on map stuff next, and maybe work on the art stuff too. Part of the thing is I get frustrated with art stuff because GIMP just doesn't do what I want. I need to look into a sprite and stuff. So as I build my art skills and tool set, maybe we can kind of jump back and forth. But yeah, so we have some cool progress, getting closer to, I'm not going to be working on actual rooms until we have some of these things working, just because it's going to dictate how we arrange the tile sets and all this other stuff. And you can't really design rooms without interacting with them and verifying that they work and play as you want and have enemies. So yeah, good progress. We'll See everyone next week.